What the hell are you talking about? Wasn't this whole thing, just a setup to get rid of me? A plan to do in the heavy metal knight? I said, looking at him furiously. Well, you honestly give yourself more credit than you're truly worth, the man replied. Truth be told, you're nothing more than a minor inconvenience. Sure enough, you may be strong, but it's not like you can really hinder us all that much. There are just too many of us. Even if you take out a few, it doesn't really matter in the end. But you are popular with the public. We decided to use that to our advantage, along with the little lie about this all being just to do you in. Truth be told, it was all just to waste your time and to get the city's attention, to make sure everybody was nice and focused on the dearly missing mayor. And while everyone was focusing on the plight of the missing mayor and the thrill of the heavy metal knight valiantly fighting to save his life, we got to work with our real objective. Oh, did we have some fun in store for you. I mean, even after you beat this challenge, the next one was actually supposed to be a bit of a merry-go-round. It was a chase. We had the whole thing planned out, just in case. We were going to have the switch being passed between some of our fast movers. People with short-distance teleportation, enhanced speed, flight, that kind of stuff. A team of them. You were going to spend some time chasing them around the city, trying to figure out which one had the switch, catch them, claim it, and then after that, figure out which one of them was actually the fingerprint that you needed to open it. It was a whole thing. It would have been fun to watch, but it was unnecessary. Surprisingly, actually, with how fast you got through that first ring, we were starting to get a bit concerned. But our good friend Hydroshock here bought us all the time we needed. His performance was spectacular. The amount of time that he was able to hold you off for gave us everything we needed. I growled at him. So if this whole thing was just to waste my time, then what was your real objective? What were you after? What was all of this about? I exclaimed angrily. Well, it was about blood. Blood? I replied, curiously, wondering what he was talking about. You see, we've been doing a lot of work with those symbiotes, and I have to tell you, it's a very time-consuming process trying to find appropriate candidates for more than one reason. Not only do they have to be a good match for some specific type of symbiote, but they also have to fall into a certain psychological profile when it comes to being able to join up with us. We spend half our time actually having to collect randos, bring them in, and then take their egg before it hatches, and then stuff it into one criminal after another until we find somebody that can actually host the thing. It's a real pain, and it's been slowing our growth a lot. But we found a helpful shortcut. You see, that little ship of theirs and the symbiotes themselves can actually sense whether somebody's genetically compatible, and all they need is a sample of blood. They don't actually need the person to tell whether they can bond with them or not. But blood is sort of hard to come by, so it would kind of leave us in the same position. No different than just collecting random people. We needed to do better. So we put together this little plan. And while you were busy fighting to save the mayor's life, we sent teams out all over the city to therapist office, shrinks, hospitals, prisons, anywhere that we could collect blood and psychological profiles. We collected an absolutely absurd amount of data that we're going to have to shift through, but it'll all be worth it in the end. Hell, we even hit up sperm banks. Genetic material works all the same. and with detailed files on all donors, access to psychological profiles. We don't have to waste our time spinning in the wind. All we do is give the genetic samples to the symbiotes. They select which ones are actually compatible with them. And then, using the information, we can collect information on that sample. Who gave it, what their psychological profile is. We collected information on people all across the city in one fell swoop. This is going to allow us to pick optimal users that'll fall into our category of thinking, dramatically increasing the rate at which we can expand our numbers. It's a godsend, really. We've been collecting the blood samples on the sly for a while, waiting until we found them for basically all the symbiotes, several candidates for each. And now, with all of the donor information, psychological profiles created by trained psychologists, we have the perfect choosing tool. It all went according to plan. Thanks to you, he said as a portal opened up behind them. All right, guys, you can get back to base, he said, raising a thumb and pointing towards the portal, as all of the others began to make their way inside. Damn it. This was all just a game, and I played right into it. And now they have everything they need to build an army. You guys go on through. I'm gonna stick around here and talk to our metallic friend. You sure about that, boss? The shield guy said as he was one of the last to start to head towards the portal. Don't worry about it. I can handle myself. I'm not worried about getting nailed down by any of his little tricks. I've got it covered, he said with a smile over his shoulder as the shield guy followed suit, entering the portal along with the others as they disappeared into the distance, the portal fading away, leaving only Overcharge, as he calls himself. So, what's left now is that I want to have a little chat with you, Heavy Metal, he said as he started to walk in my direction, sloshing his way through the water to make it over to me, standing a few feet in front of me. Mayor, if you wouldn't mind stepping away for a moment, I'd like to have a chat with my friend here, he said, still that seemingly friendly smile on his face. What do I do? The mayor said, whispering to me. If something goes south, it'd be better if that you're not close to me. Do what he says and back off. Give us some good distance. If this starts to turn ugly, you don't want to be nearby. In fact, if you can, make your way home or to a police station, somewhere you'll be safe, and there are lots of other people around. Tell them what he said about breaking in and stealing information. It might prove helpful to the police, I said, looking over my shoulder as the mayor gave me a nod before turning around and starting to run towards the other end of the canal, looking for a way out. Okay, just you and me. Let me guess, this is where you try to take me out, right? Oh, don't be so suspicious, the man replied. Truth be told, I want to talk to you about something a bit more mutually beneficial, and I didn't need my subordinates around overhearing me. Here's the deal, Heavy Metal Knight. I want your help, and you want mine. So, we're gonna help each other. You get something that you want, I get something that I want. And it'd be best if we start to move quickly. There's not a lot of time for games. What the hell are you talking about? I'm talking about that bitch Becky. What, you think I like working for her? She's a moron. She doesn't know what she's doing. She basically found a nuclear weapon, and now she thinks she can rule the world with it. Most of our strategies and plans come from other people. She just looms over us, but we can't do anything about it because she enforces control on all the hatchlings before they're implanted in us. She's their ruler, their stand-in king. as it were. So she can basically shut all of our powers down anytime she wants. That and the bitch's ability make her hard to pin down. You never know if she's there or not there. Hell, she could be listening right now, and neither of us would really know it. We wouldn't be aware of it in any way. So what I'm doing right now is a hell of a risk. But I need somebody on the outside. Somebody not under her control. Somebody she can't just snap her fingers and take their powers away. Here's the deal, Heavy Metal. I'm gonna help you free half the symbiotes. You get half, and we get half. That's the deal. That's what you're after, right? Freeing the symbiotes? Well, I'm gonna give it to you. But in exchange, I want my own freedom. And the other half of the symbiotes. We can keep fighting afterwards. But Becky, that bitch has to go. She's weighing us all down. Her ego is out of control, and she's got no idea what she's dealing with. If it's left up to her, this whole city's gonna end up burning. That's not good for business. So, I'm here to offer you a deal. You know the terms, so will you accept them? He said, casting me a very serious glance.